HOA complained about my front door design, so I replaced it with a full vault door. Can you imagine being told your own front door, a symbol of your home, doesn't meet someone else's arbitrary standards of taste? The afternoon sun was streaming through the leaded glass panels of my newly installed front door, casting intricate patterns across my foyer. It was a custom piece, a blend of Art Deco elegance and modern craftsmanship, designed to be the welcoming centerpiece of my home in the exclusive gated community of Belmead Estates. Marcus Thorne, a retired architect who'd spent his life creating beautiful, functional spaces, felt a quiet pride in its unique design. My moment of peace was shattered by a sharp, insistent rapping. Standing on my porch, stiff as a mannequin and with a disapproving frown etched onto her face, was Karen Vanderbilt. She wasn't just another resident. She was the self-proclaimed monarch of the Belmead HOA, a woman who treated architectural guidelines as her personal manifesto for aesthetic fascism. "Mr. Thorne," she announced, her voice as crisp and unyielding as her starched blouse. "We have received, shall we say, numerous observations regarding your recent modification. That door. It is, quite simply, an egregious departure from the established aesthetic of Belmead. Its ornate nature, its unusual material, it screams new money rather than timeless elegance. It diminishes the property values of our community. It must be replaced with something more appropriate." The main conflict slammed into me like a wrecking ball. Karen, with her thinly veiled classism and suffocating adherence to a perceived, timeless elegance, which, in reality, meant bland conformity, was demanding I dismantle a piece of my artistry, a part of my identity embedded in my home. Her sheer audacity, her immediate condescension, was breathtaking. She viewed my unique design as a personal insult, a blot on her vision of Belmead. I tried to explain my artistic intent, the historical inspirations, even the subtle nods to the community's own architectural heritage. "Ms. Vanderbilt, this door is a custom-designed piece, a high-quality work that enhances the character of this home. It's built to last, and it's certainly not out of place." I even offered to provide detailed blueprints and material samples to demonstrate its quality. Karen, however, merely adjusted the expensive scarf around her neck, her eyes narrowed in disdain. "Mr. Thorne, character in Belmead means uniformity. Your artistry is, to put it mildly, disruptive. It draws undue attention. We prefer understated sophistication, not statement pieces. You have 1 week to remove it and install a standard, approved door, or face the maximum daily fines." Her voice was dismissive, her posture radiating an air of untouchable authority, as if my creative expression was an unpardonable sin. The fines began almost immediately, escalating daily. I consulted lawyers, reviewed HOA bylaws, and discovered loopholes. But Karen was relentless. She circulated petitions among her loyal ladies who lunch club, painting me as a rebellious outsider. Then, her pettiness turned into outright vandalism. One evening, under the cloak of darkness, her groundskeeper, a timid man always shadowed by Karen's watchful eye, attempted to deface my door with industrial-strength paint stripper. He barely managed to splash a small corner before a motion-activated floodlight clicked on, startling him, and he fled. But the damage, though minor, was real. It was a direct, personal attack on my property, a physical manifestation of her malicious intent. Right after the defacement attempt, a significant twist emerged from an unlikely source. My next-door neighbor, Mrs. Albright, a sweet, technologically challenged woman, was trying to set up her new security camera system. She'd been struggling with the app and had accidentally set it to record continuously, capturing everything. She hobbled over, distraught. "Oh, Mr. Thorne, I was just trying to get this new contraption to work, and I think I caught someone trying to, well, do something terrible to your lovely door. I was trying to send the video to my grandson, but I pressed the wrong button." Her camera, though old and a bit grainy, had perfectly captured the groundskeeper, and in the background, dimly visible from her porch light, Karen Vanderbilt herself, supervising from her car, giving hand signals. The larger implication of Karen's actions became alarmingly clear. My home wasn't just a personal residence. It was slated to be featured in Homes for Heroes, a national charity tour showcasing architecturally significant homes to raise funds for disabled veterans' housing. My unique front door was a key design element meant to inspire, a symbol of personal courage and breaking boundaries. Karen's deliberate campaign of harassment and damage, and her arbitrary rule enforcement, threatened to pull my home from the tour, jeopardizing hundreds of thousands of dollars in much-needed funding for veterans. Her petty tyranny was now directly undermining a major philanthropic effort. Armed with Mrs. Albright's video, I bypassed the local HOA committee, going directly to the annual community-wide general meeting. Karen was holding forth on a new initiative to standardize mailbox designs. I waited for a lull, then calmly stepped forward. "Karen," I interrupted, my voice carrying clearly. "Before we discuss mailboxes, perhaps we should address the actual vandalism occurring in Belmead." I projected Mrs. Albright's video onto the large screen. A collective gasp rippled through the room as Karen's groundskeeper was seen attempting to damage my door, with Karen's car clearly visible in the background. Karen's face turned scarlet. "This is a fabrication, a conspiracy. Mr. Thorne is a rogue element trying to destabilize our community," she shrieked, her usual poise crumbling. She launched into a tirade, accusing me of doctoring the video, of being a disgruntled outsider, desperately attempting to spin the situation. Just as she was working herself into a frenzy, the doors at the back of the hall swung open, and strode not just Detective Miller from the Belmead Police Department, but also a representative from the State Attorney General's office and a prominent investigative reporter from the Metropolitan Herald. The reporter's camera flashed, capturing Karen's terrified expression. The State Attorney General's representative, a sharp-suited woman named Ms. Davies, spoke first. "Ms. Vanderbilt, we've received numerous complaints regarding your conduct as HOA president, specifically concerning alleged harassment, abuse of power, and now, what appears to be a clear act of property damage. This behavior, especially when targeting a charitable initiative for veterans, is being taken very seriously." Detective Miller stepped forward. "And Ms. Vanderbilt, we've also been looking into irregularities in HOA finances. Specifically, several major contracts for community improvements seem to have been awarded to companies with direct ties to your family at wildly inflated prices." A small, nervous cough rippled through the room as an internal accountant, emboldened by the presence of the authorities, quietly handed Detective Miller a thick folder. It became horrifyingly clear. Karen wasn't just a petty tyrant. She had been systematically embezzling HOA funds, redirecting maintenance fees and special assessments into her own shell corporations for years. The aesthetics were a front for millions in calculated fraud. A quick whisper from Ms. Davies revealed that Karen had a long-standing pattern of hyper-controlling behavior, often linked to her deep-seated insecurities about her family's old money status being eclipsed by new money arrivals. The consequences for Karen Vanderbilt were immediate and devastating. She was formally removed from her position as HOA president and placed under investigation for embezzlement, fraud, and criminal property damage. The Belmead HOA, once under her iron fist, was now under receivership as a forensic audit revealed the shocking scale of her financial misdeeds. The timeless elegance she championed was unmasked as a veneer for corruption. Her once loyal Ladies Who Lunch club publicly disavowed her, terrified of being implicated. Her family, desperately trying to save their name, issued a public statement condemning her actions and disinheriting her. Her meticulously maintained reputation, the very thing she used to wield power, crumbled into dust. She lost her vast fortune, her social standing, and her freedom. The last I heard, she was awaiting trial, stripped of her designer clothes and living a far cry from the opulent lifestyle she once guarded so fiercely. The cosmic irony was almost too perfect. Her obsession with outward appearances and controlling every detail ultimately led to the complete destruction of her own carefully crafted facade. As for my front door, I decided to make a definitive statement. I didn't just fix the minor damage. With the full support of the new, reformed HOA board, I replaced it with a custom-fabricated, full-sized, secure vault door designed with elegant brass accents and intricate mechanisms, reminiscent of a grand bank vault. It was impeccably crafted, subtly luxurious, and undeniably secure. It perfectly blended form and function, a defiant symbol that my home, and my personal freedom within it, was impregnable. It became the most talked about feature of the Homes for Heroes tour, raising record funds for disabled veterans housing. The satisfaction was immense, not just from the money raised, but from the quiet, unshakable knowledge that I had stood my ground against tyranny and, in doing so, had helped expose a far greater injustice. What do you think? Is it ever justified to take extreme measures to assert your rights when faced with such oppressive control? And what do you believe is the true cost of unchecked power within a community?